Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to continue on in our Envision Unit 12 by doing an additional practice buddy for 12-1. If you found it easy, that's great. This will be a nice, simple review for you. And if you found it challenging, this will be a nice clarification for you to see exactly what you should be doing. So I'm going to walk you through a copy of 12-1 Practice Buddy that you've already done because the additional Practice Buddy is very similar. Now, there's different copies of each Practice Buddy and additional Practice Buddies, so everyone gets different copies, which makes it a little challenging for me to help kids with. But I want to walk you through it nonetheless, and then you might have seen this copy, you might not have. So here, for number 1, we have to tell whether the shape shows equal or unequal parts. If the parts are equal, label one of the parts using a unit fraction. Speaking of unit fractions, remember, a unit fraction has a 1 on top and the total number of parts on the bottom. So if these parts are equal, it will be 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if these parts are equal, the unit fraction will be 1/8. But I can see pretty quickly here that this section has 8 squares in it. So does this one, this one, this one, and this one. But this has 12 and this has 4. Now, if this blue line right here was here, we'd have equal parts. But we don't. So the shape shows unequal parts. Then we check our answer. If it did have equal parts, we would then be prompted to type in here our fraction. But because it's unequal parts, we can't do anything there. Okay, you could try a similar question if you'd like, but you don't have to. So let's move on here to number 2. Okay, tell whether the shape shows equal or unequal parts. If the parts are equal, label one of the parts using a unit fraction. So here, I'm looking at this parallelogram, and I see that these 4 parts are the same size. They're equal, so the shape shows equal parts. Now, to type in here, I'm going to select this button right here. Okay, follow my cursor, this blue and blue square above and below the fraction bar. And then this comes up. So since I'm typing a unit fraction, remember, N for north, the numerator, is going to be 1 because a unit fraction always talks about one part of the shape or the whole, the total, one part of the total. Since there are 4 equal parts, this unit fraction that represents just one of these is 1/4. Then I'm going to check my answer. It tells me, excellent. And now I'm ready to move on. If you'd like to challenge yourself, try another question, but you don't have to. Here's another one. Tell whether the shape shows equal or unequal parts. If the parts are equal, label one of the parts using a unit fraction. Okay? Here's another parallelogram. It shows 2 equal parts. So the shape does show equal parts. And I'm going to click in the box, select my fraction button, and one of these parts would be 1 as the numerator, 2 as the denominator. So 1 out of 2 is 1/2. So one of these parts, this is 1/2, and this is 1/2. Check my answer again, and I did a fantastic job. Let's move on again. Feel free, try a similar one if you'd like. Especially if you find this to be a review and you'd like to just try, maybe the next one will be more challenging. Okay, now here, we need to look for the square that has 1 or more lines drawn to divide the shape into 8 equal parts. I'm looking for 8 equal parts. Every single one of these shapes has 8 equal parts. If you can identify it quickly, that's great. If not, count each part, okay? So I'm going to count this one, letter A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me count this section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this one does not have equal parts, and this one only has 4. That's like the shape we saw at the beginning. Let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 and 6. 10 and 6, 10 and 6, 10 and 6. This does not have 8 equal parts. Let's look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, another 8 and 8. If I counted each one of these, if I needed to, I would take my time, count each one. If you look here, every single one of these has 8 in it. That's my answer. I would want to double check this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is the one. If you'd like, you could zoom in and make it bigger to help you count. Oops, you can go even bigger. Yikes. Better make it smaller again. Okay, what's this button do? Oh, that's even better. So this button here really helps you count a little bit better and to see it better. Okay? All right, that is my answer. I'm going to check to make sure it's correct. I did a fantastic job. Now, I need to say the fraction that one part represents, one of these equal parts. Okay, so since there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, since there's 8 equal parts, one of them is 1/8 or 1 out of 8. Now, I want to share something additional with you today for anyone that might want to consider thinking fractions on a next level. Okay, so there's 8 in each of these, and there's 8 sections. So I can use multiplication to know that there's 64 squares, okay? So the fraction 8/64 is equal to the fraction 1/8. So there are equivalent fractions that we are going to get to in Unit 13 where things get really challenging. So just wanted to mention that fractions use multiplication and division. Again, if you'd like, try a similar problem. Okay, now, this is a good example because if you look here, none of these shapes really appear to be that equal when you first look at them because they're cut differently. Some are longer, some are wider. All right, so it is not about looking at it right away and seeing that they're all the same size. We have to count the squares on the inside. We're looking for 6 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they all have 6 equal parts, so they won't confuse you there. So we have to just count to see which it has the same number of squares in each. Let me do this. Letter A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I got lucky. This one has 6 equal parts with 8 in each. Okay, I would want to go through and count all these others, but I can tell right away that this one, this is 4 times 2, 8, and this is 3 times 3, 9. Okay, if this is 5 times 2, 10, look here, this would be 5 times 2, 10, except for the fact that it's missing 2, so it's only got 8. And then I got 6 here, but then I got 10 here. Okay, so you want to be careful, but here is our answer. Check answer. Excellent. Now, there were 8 squares in each one, but that's not how I'm getting my unit fraction. Getting my unit fraction here There's 6 equal parts, so one of those parts is 1/6. So again, there were 8 squares in each, 6 parts, that's 8 times 6, 48. So 8/48 is equal to 1/6. Just additional something I wanted to point out for those that want to push it a little bit today. Think of that. If you got 100 on this all on your own, challenge yourself. Do the check-in. Do the extra questions, okay? Do the extra examples. Work at your pace, okay? Again, you could do a similar question if you'd like. Don't have to. We're looking for 8 equal parts. Again, I'm going to count each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, 6. Don't forget, you can make it bigger to see. This one has 6 parts. That's my answer. Again, you're not going to be lucky where it's the first choice every time. All right, but if I look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this has 8, okay, that's clearly not the same. These middle sections have 6, this top section has 8, not the same. This little section here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's not it either. Okay, so here, letter A, check my answer. I did well. And now my fraction, again, it's not that there's 6 squares in each that gives me my unit fraction. My unit fraction is 1 out of this number up here, so 1/8. So 6 out of 48, 6/48 is equal to 1/8. That's something just to help challenge some for today. Just to consider while you're working. Here, I'm going to click this icon. All right, what fraction represents the part of rectangle A that is checkered? So here's the checkered portion. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 out of the 4 are checkered. So that's 1/4. Oops. 1 for my numerator, 4 for my denominator. Double check, letter A, 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the total that goes on the bottom. A common mistake, some kids might do 1/3. They'll go 1 out of 1, 2, 3. No, you have to include that one. Check that answer. Excellent. Which rectangle has a part that has waves and is 1/3? Same icon. Waves that are 1/3. Okay, here it is. Wavy out of 3. 1 out of 3. That was rectangle D. Always check your answer for this assignment. This rectangle has more than 3 equal parts. Which rectangle is it, and what fraction represents one part of it? More than 3 parts. This has 3. This has 2. This has 3. And by the way, this one here does not have equal parts at all. So that wouldn't be possible anyway. This one, letter A, has 4 parts. And one of the parts would be 1 out of 4 or 1/4. You have not completed this. What did I do? Oops. Which rectangle does not have equal parts? Like I pointed out, that's letter B here. Okay. Next one. Andrew buys 56 bottles of juice. The juice comes in packs of 8. 56 and 8. My number sense, my multiplication antenna is going up. 56 and 8. If I know my facts. How many packs did he purchase? Write a multiplication equation and a division equation to show your answer. Well, I know 56 and 8. I know 8 times 7 is 56. So the multiplication fact here is 7. Here's my times button. 7 times 8 equals 56, and my division is related. 56 divided by the number I'm given, divided by 8, equals 7. Check answer, well done. And finally, Angela has pins in an array, 6 times 4, and she adds 17. Oh, I'm giving answers away. She also has 17 pins that are not in the array. How many does she have in all? Okay, 6 times 4 is 24. I'm going to use mental addition, but you can write it down. 24 plus 10 is 34. I could count on 7 more if I needed to, or I could use my regrouping skills and my mental addition skills in my mind. 34 and 7 is 41. Remember, we did practice those mental skills, but use paper and pencil. I always say use paper and pencil to check your work anyway, even if you are doing it mentally. And there we go. So that's the work. Okay, your work for today is similar. I basically tried to review for those that need it and sort of push ahead for those that are ready for it. Okay? All right, that's it for today. So have a great day.